mentally. Like, I kind of felt like the team lost their way. I mean, and at this level, at the world stage, you can't do that.
So Flicker and Lyra band here. Now, interestingly enough, they are going to lock in Kestrel straight away. I don't think there's any surprises there, gentlemen. But Flicker is an interesting one for me. Snow Avalanche, the only team I think that were kind of saying pick or ban Flicker this entire sort of tournament.
Right, this is actually very dangerous for the side of Snow Avalanche because Infamous Legion has picked up that Catherine and Petal, who are both incredibly good against that Kestrel.
We've also got the Gwen locked in here, so I mean, that's something that we haven't seen too much competitively. What are we expecting here, Fuji?
So very likely, because we see the Kestrel and Samuel, Gwen Crystal Power is incredibly strong at actually dealing with poke comps because her A is so long range. She's able to cover a wide area gamut, and she's able to push teams back. Petal is just there to kind of help poke and keep that pressure
Very
on.
quickly, who are you going for?
Infamous Legion.
I think Infamous Legion's got this.
All right, wonderful. Going to hand over to our two beautiful casters. It's Sona and Jingyi.
Thank you very much, X-Scoundrel. I only see one beautiful caster here. It is, of course, Jingyi. I am more on the handsome side, I do believe, but we are going to get into Game 2 of Worlds here. It's Infamous Legion versus Team Snow once again. Team Snow did not have the performance they would have wanted in that Game 1.
Absolutely not. That 17-1 and 15-minute game was a very, very telling story right there.
That it was, but this time we actually see Infamous Legion doing something we see no other team do and switching those roles around. Quartervites is gone for that laner. We see DefQ moving over to the Roma role, and already they're in the lane. Voldemort has no way of escaping. Infamous Legion 1-0 up, and it's almost a minute into the game.
It's absolutely insane. Quartervoid, he does get impaled right there, but the thing is, what we're seeing right now is Waldemar, he was very, very far forward right there, and I think it was very easy for him to get caught out.
That it was. Like, that's the thing with Voldemar, though. He's known for pushing up. We don't tend to see these three-man lanes as much in Europe as you do in SEA and NA and in East Asia. So perhaps he wasn't expecting it. But if you've done your research on Infamous Legion, you know they like that early three-man lane.
Actually, it's not even about that. If you watch any game from Waldemar in the Evo League, this is what happens typically very early on, is that he is very far forward, he gets caught out. And it's something that he needs to be very, very careful of, because it was something we saw in the last game, and it's something we've seen a lot. With this Crystal Gwen, potentially, it looks like this weapon, we're not very sure yet, but they did say that there potentially was going to be a Crystal Gwen in the works.
We have talked to them previously, and they said they do like that Crystal Gwen pick, as you say. However, we don't tend to see many double Crystal Power compositions anymore. We don't tend to see many double Weapon Power compositions anymore. A lot of people want to mix up those damage sources, so it makes it harder for the enemy to build defense into you.
Infamous Legion is one of the teams that I've seen who are still playing double CP, and it wouldn't surprise me if they did go with the Crystal Gwen, because her range is very, very short. She's one of the squishiest heroes if you look at her base health compared to the other ranged ones. And against this Kester, whose range is much longer than a Gwen, I think it just works a little bit better. Oh, Bastion!
Bastion's going to get taken out as well. Spaghetti jumped in. Bastion just falls once again. They just don't expect there to be three members in the lane.
Infamous Legion are just so coordinated in their movements. So we're seeing Spaghetti rotating up at the right moments. They're picking up the kills, and then he's going back down. We're seeing no pressure coming out into the jungle from either of the teams. And I think this is something that Snow Avalanche normally excel at, is applying that jungle pressure. And that's one of their strengths, and it's a bit disappointing that we're not seeing it so far.
Definitely. I think there's always a worry when you do have a lot of pressure in your lane, when the enemy team is trying to coerce you up there, bringing three members time and time again, that you feel you have to make the reactive play and try and defend your lane. If Voldemar played a little bit safer, use that active camo a little bit better, they could try and put some pressure into the jungle and just have Voldemar play safe.
Absolutely, just have the Waldemar just a little bit back into start, have a scout trap under the bush so he knows if there's going to be any ganks, and have Bastion and Kenstick apply some pressure in the jungle, because with the Lance and the Samuel there, you have so much potential. But right now they're just giving the momentum to Infamous Legion. They're allowing Infamous Legion to dictate the pace of the fight.
And you can see how defensive they're playing there as well. Bastion had a really good opportunity to land the Impale, but Kenstick just looked for the bush. Now they're going to get a lot of damage down onto DefQ, who has stepped forward. Malice and Verdict coming out from Kenstick. They're looking for the kill. Not quite able to get it as Quarterboy steps ahead of his Aroma. Snow Avalanche do win out that fight, though. They've got so much poke from this Samuel as well. DefQ needs to be incredibly cautious as to how he plays behind his turret.
Yeah, DefQ is very, very low. Hang on, they might pick up the kill into Waldemar here.
Stepping forward, the Munion's doing a lot of work, but here's the Drifting Dart. Kentisik trying to turn this one around, just needs one more shot, and he will get it. Team Snow Avalanche starting to get rolling.
They are, and they've manages to take down Courtois. He is looking like he's going to be going for that crystal, and I think that was just purely coming out from Kensick was the poke damage. I think it was all about Kensick there. And if they can do that a little bit more, again in the jungle, which I would much prefer, then this whole game could be Snow Avalanche.
It's so important to realize as well, it doesn't matter if you lose the first game 17-1 and win the second game 17-1. Like, it doesn't matter as long as you've won one and you've lost one for Snow Avalanche here. They will still have that tiebreaker possibility, and they still get a 1-1 record. Bastion's going to knock DefQ back here, does get stunned up with a Merciless Pursuit, but not going to be able to chase this one out too much. I believe this is the first time we've seen Snow Avalanche actually take a gold lead against Infamous Legion.
Well, we're only about 2 minutes in right now, so you can't see that. I want to point out, Courtois, he's gone for the journey boots very, very early on, and Gwen is already one of the fastest.
Bastion's low. Munions get the kill. Petal OP, boys. Triple crystal bit, Eclipse Prism, and a heavy prism. That's all you need, guys. Pure
Need
CP.
boots. No boots.
Who needs boots, man?
Yeah.
It's a plant. Plants don't have boots.
You've got trampoline. That's all you need. Is that
You
trampoline.
can't wear shoes on the trampoline, otherwise you'll get it dirty. So that Petal's just leaping her way in and then leaves the scene to try and do some counter jungling. Now, Kensick has spotted him out. We'll be looking to try and take these away. There's Bastion just around the corner as well. Drifting Dart comes out. Spaghetti hits 6. Impale onto the Munions. Kensick not quite able to connect with these Malice and Verdicts, but Spaghetti now low on energy as well. And Voldemar comes in to snipe away the kill. Get the Kestrel fed. That's what Snow Avalanche want to do.
That was, I think, a bit of a misplay coming out from Spaghetti. I get what he was doing with trying to invading, deny them some of the farm, but without any boots and without a backup there and with no vision of where Snow Avalanche is, that was not a good idea. And I think that was quite a good opportunity for Infamous Legion to push the lane a little bit.
This is big. Kensick's going to catch him out. There's the Githian wall. Knocks them back. Drifting Dark forward. DefQ stuns up Bastion. That's not who you want. He will run away, but won't be able to escape. Kensick secures himself his second kill.
They're going to get the turret.
Turret's going to go down as well. This is a quicker pushing comp than the Saw composition they had in the last game. Turret at 6 minutes. Snow Avalanche showing us the Avalanche we saw at Summer Live Championships.
This is a complete turnaround from the last game so far. I don't know if we're going to see a steal coming out from Spaghetti right now. Potentially, but I doubt it.
It's a very difficult steal to make, even with Gwen there as well. It is double crystal power, as you said, Jinyi. How do you think that's going to work into this sort of later game? You're going to see a lot of shield built up on Snow Avalanche.
Personally, I think for the Gwen and the Petal, I think CP works best. And in the late game, it's going to be very, very difficult for Snow Avalanche to combat with unless they start investing in that early shield. Right now, nobody's got shield from either Waldemar or Kensick, and that's a bit of concern for me, because as we get into the later game, the CP damage coming in from Infamous Legion is going to be too much for Snow Avalanche to deal with.
I wonder as well if Bastion's actually realized this, because he's sitting on a bit of armor in his inventory. Now, armor's okay, but not into double CP most of the time. You want to get as much shield as possible. I'm going to step forward. Spaghetti level 7 has that spontaneous combustion. In fact, everyone apart from DefQ has hit that level 6 mark, so all have their ult abilities available. This is what we want to see from Snow Avalanche. If you're a supporter of them, you will enjoy watching them start to poke down DefQ and Quartervoice.
I like that their use of minion candies is allowing them to keep pushing up, and we're beginning to see them slowly taking control of the jungle, and it's quite a marginal lead that they've got right now in terms of gold, about 1k gold lead. And what we want to be seeing coming out from them is picking up that shield. Right now we still don't have any of that, and that's something they desperately need very, very soon. And apply that pressure onto that second turret. Waldemar's doing a very good job so far, but he has to be careful because we are going to see Spaghetti and the Gwen ramping up.
A lot of this is about mental fortitude for Snow Avalanche as well. When you lose the first game of World Championship 17-1, it's a big mountain to climb to get back up. But Snow Avalanche have climbed that mountain. They're going down the other side. They are avalanching towards what might be their first victory here at Worlds.
Not quite the avalanche just yet. I'll say a little flurry of snow there.
There's a ripple of snow starting to like...
Snow doesn't ripple.
Depends what type of snow it is. Okay, no,
I have
snow doesn't
nothing to say
ripple.
to
Snow
that.
doesn't ripple, it's true.
I have nothing to say to that. Right now, what we have to worry about is Courtois. The Ace's high stun is going to be doing a lot of damage, and because he's going crystal, it's got an immense CP ratio. I think 240%.
240%. It's absolutely huge. 100% CP ratio as well on the Buckshot Bonanza. So the ratios for CP are actually a lot better on Gwen than they are for weapon power. I think it's 75% on Buckshot and 100% on that Ace's high, so nowhere near as much damage, but you don't have the consistency of damage as well. It's all about burst on the Gwen rather than prolonged team fights.
Yeah, and I think when it comes to that CPU, Gwen, she's relying on her buckshot a little bit more because of the range and the slow. Because if she's playing weapons, she has to be in very close range to get that damage down onto Snow Avalanche. This way, she can poke away at long distance, which is what she needs right now. positioning-wise, they're doing a very good job, but we want to see Infamous Legion start making plays right now.
How do Infamous Legion make a play though? Because they're pushed back behind that sort of mid of their own jungle. They're not able to get any vision around the gold miner. Snow Avalanche are continuing just to push up their scout trap line and deny any awareness for Infamous Legion.
I think for me, it's on how Infamous Legion are going to use their CC. So right now they have the silence coming out from Catherine, and they also have that Aces High. If they can catch either Kentisik or Waldemar and then get the silence on top of them, that's a really great opportunity for them to start using that engagement for a fight.
Does Spaghetti need to get himself some boots as well? Because
Absolutely.
he's sitting on a piercing shard of Frostburn, triple crystal bit, and a couple of Halcyon potions. I assume he'll get the Broken Myth and then maybe get some boots underneath that?
I guess because his range is so long, he feels like he doesn't need the boots, but when it comes to those team fights, he needs to have that escape. The trampoline is there, yes, but they can chase, and there's a lot of potential there with Bastion on that lance to use his combat rule just to pin him down.
Yeah. That is always the risk, you know. You can say, oh, trampoline away from the Impale, but if Bastion can get on top of you, if you've got the Oblivion coming out from the Samuel as well, it's very easy to get locked down. Snow Avalanche are taking a little bit of time trying to work out exactly what their next play is and how they continue to aggress into the Infamous Legion jungle, because at the moment they haven't really done too much damage to that turret. They're perhaps just waiting on the Broken Myth from Kentisik, perhaps just waiting for Voldemar to get a part of another item before they really go all in.
Infamous Legion are doing a really good job right now of just holding that turret. And personally, I would like to see Snow Avalanche pushing a little bit more, because I think there's been a few minutes since we've seen a proper push. And I think that's just an opportunity that they're wasting, because we're seeing Infamous Legion, they're beginning to come into that late game composition right now, and I think they're just waiting for that moment. They're just playing very, very passively, and when they feel like they've hit their stride, now that Catherine has that contraption, she's got the cooldown, this could actually be a really good point for them to start moving.
Go disadvantage. There we go. We're back. And the question is really for me: are Snow Avalanche going to have the energy and the mental capacity to continue pushing this in? Because after the first game, when they lost so badly, like 17-1 with a 10,000, almost 14,000 gold differential at the end, is an incredible loss to have to bear. Can Snow Avalanche actually come out of this and say, look, we can still win these games. We're still better than this team? Because you have to be confident in yourself to win games at this level.
I think they can. They've certainly had a great start, much better than the last game already. But what is slightly worrying for me is that Roam Lance. And I think if you look at Roam Lance and you look at Roam Catherine, the Catherine's going to do better in the long run, especially when you've got heroes such as Gwen, who's very, very fast. She's got the journey boots. It's going to be very difficult for Bastion to try and land those impales. Right now, his easiest target is Spaghetti, and that's because Spaghetti still has no boots.
I want to just focus on Quartervice's build as well. He's gone Shatterglass and Clockwork, so that's an incredibly aggressive Gwen build. Not seeing any defense, we kind of expect that from Infamous Legion, but not seeing something like a Broken Myth, just going, no, like if you go for a full burst build, I'd expect an Aftershock as well, but instead just going pure CP.
Well, the Clockwork is not an item that we see commonly being picked up second. I think it usually is that Broken Myth. And I think a Broken Myth probably would have been a better item to pick up second, especially now that Kentisik has that Aegis. But look at the damage that is doing on Waldemar with that Buckshot.
It does do a huge amount of work. Buckshot takes a quarter of his health, and this is how they're able to continue to force Snow Avalanche back. They've got the ability for a little bit of poke just to make it so that Snow Avalanche cannot continue their aggression. Like you look at Snow Avalanche's composition and you say they're the kings of poke, but when this Gwen has built pure crystal power, she actually puts out just as much damage as a Kestrel or as a Samuel. Impale onto Quartervice. Snow Avalanche looking for the fight. Not going to be able to land the Oblivion. The Skedaddle gets Quartervice out of it. Infamous Legion on the back foot here, but Spaghetti has joined the fray, and the spontaneous combustion does work. Voldemar has to back away. Does have the one shot, one kill, will not connect. Snow Avalanche not able to get the fight that they want.
They need to fight this. Infamous need to fight that. They've forced the fountain out of Waldemar. That Aces High is not going to hit right now. We want to see them moving forward in this team fight.
Spaghetti trampolines in. They did block out the Blast Tremor as well. Snow Avalanche able to, after losing out in the early portion of that fight, get themselves back to safety. It looks like they are just going to farm up their jungle. Kraken's on the cards pretty darn soon as well here. So Snow Avalanche may just be waiting out for that Kraken and then look to end the game with a push.
That was actually a really good fight from Infamous Legion. Yeah. And so we're saying this double crystal is beginning to come. And right now, Waldemar, I just want to see some shield coming out from him.
Oh, there we go. Minion's foot. It's a great shield.
Great shield.
Legion boat that you don't need defense because you can just rely on your positioning.
Well, the thing is, Gwen, I can understand, maybe he doesn't need that reflex block as early because of the skedaddle. The cooldown is relatively short, 14 seconds, much lower than the cooldown on the reflex block. So, you know, if you can rely on that, it's a very intuitive button to use. But does have to be careful. Right now he is very, very long range, relying on his buckshot to stay out of position. And if they can just keep poking away at Waldemar and Kentisik, and then Infamous Legion maybe can do the counter push.
Well, Kentisik has now got Broken Myth and Frostburn, so he's going to have a huge amount of poke damage as well. Double Tyrant's Monocle on Voldemar. He actually used to build a very interesting Kestrel build, which was Sorrow Blade, Double Tyrant's Monocle, and then Shatterglass to finish it out. Doesn't look like he's going down that route this game, but I would have been interested to see if he decided to use that one. Goldmine's about to leave the Halcyon fold as well. We will see our first Kraken spawning, so always going to be an option for Snow as they have got strong scout trap vision around there.
Yeah, but DefQ also has his own contraptions, so we're beginning to see that those scout traps, they're beginning to be set off by Infamous Legion there, so that's a bit of an advantage that Snow Avalanche is losing.
Oh,
of course, he's caught out!
Tries to skedaddle out, blocks the Gethian wall, and they will be able to get away. Skedaddle, of course, does give you that short period where you can block out CC. However, this is the start of the Kraken for Snow Avalanche. There's always an opportunity for a steal, but it doesn't look like Infamous Legion want to go for it. They just backed away. They still have 4 turrets for Snow Avalanche to have to push through, so they've got enough of a base to keep it defended. But the Kraken has been unleashed for Snow Avalanche.
And I think Infamous Legion, with the range that they have, I think taking down this Kraken won't be too big of a task, and it depends on how Snow Avalanche are going to push with the Kraken. Are they going to be super aggressive? Are they going to poke? And I think what they need to do is be super aggressive, take down Infamous Legion as much as they can, but otherwise this is going to be an opportunity that will be wasted if they don't do so.
How do you go aggressive here? Do you just try and continue to poke and then go for an all-in engage?
They've got so much poke coming out from Waldemar and Kentisik that they're just focusing on DefQ, which is actually working.
Huge amount of damage onto DefQ. He hasn't built any defense for himself. Kraken takes the first turret. DefQ gets a bit of damage back. Kraken down to half HP. Spaghetti and Quarterboy still high. There is an Impale from Bastion. Kendisik's going to follow it up. Malice and Verdict coming out. Kraken pushing onto the second turret of the push. Oblivion in the backline. DefQ will go down. Snow Avalanche starting to get the ball rolling. They're looking for Spaghetti as well. May continue this push. The Kraken has a sliver of HP to try and work with.
And I think Snow Avalanche should probably back away at this point because that Kraken is very, very close to going down. They do back away at this point. But right now, Snow Avalanche, they've taken a 4k gold lead or 5k gold lead off the back of that push. And you've got to say, Infamous Legion, they've got a tough game ahead of them right now because so far we're not seeing the plays that we're seeing last game. And the mechanics, they've kind of disappeared, fizzled away.
Part of it is the snowball advantage as well. A lot of these Southeast Asian and East Asian teams, when we talked to them and asked them what their greatest strength was, they said, we are very good at taking a lead and then never giving it up. In this game, they took a lead by 2 kills and then started to give up a little bit. And then since then, Snow Avalanche haven't given them the opportunity to try and take a lead again. Voldemar's going to step forward. DefQ does get the stun off. Kentisik off towards the side. Here comes the fight. Snow Avalanche are looking for this one as Spaghetti goes low. Pushed back by Kentisik. DefQ is that front line. Snow Avalanche decide they don't quite want this fight yet. Bastion does have War Treads if they want to go for the engage. Oblivion doesn't hit. However, Voldemar's going to hit with this one-shot, 1 kill onto Spaghetti, half HP. Infamous Legion, aces high onto Bastion. Voldemar looking for the flank, gets caught out, but here is Kentisik, and he won't quite get the damage down onto Infamous Legion. A huge fight, but neither team lose a man.
And I think the lack of boots on Spaghetti is...
Oh,
no, Kentisik!
Here comes the stun from DefQ, Impale out. Kentisik survives with the fountain though, and Snow Avalanche turn it on its head.
Well, Quarterboy and Spaghetti, they're a little bit healthier, but they're being poked down so low.
The Malice and Verdict poke is absolutely huge. Voldemar is going to spot out Quartervoice and takes him down. Snow Avalanche, 6 kills to 3 up, looking for the ace. Not going to be able to chase down Spaghetti just quite yet. Bastion still trying to get on towards that petal, but spontaneous combustion used. 1 shot, 1 kill, does not connect. And Spaghetti will just roll his way back to his base.
Painfully slow coming out from Spaghetti. Painfully slow. And especially...
If only he had boots.
If only! You know, Kentisik, he's got that Frostburn. You've got this like, kind of double slow coming out from you. And it's so easy for them to focus him down because in that fight, Spaghetti was just taking a lot of damage very easily from Kentisik because of the lack of mobility coming out from him.
Voldemort does have an Aegis now alongside Kentisik. There's extra shielding picked up onto Bastion with that Crucible and the Fountain. He's pretty darn tanky. Kentisik and Voldemort have a bit of shield resistance. The second Kraken's going to come down. It wouldn't be a European team unless the game lasted long enough for you to get 2 Krakens at least on the Halcyon Fold, and now they are going to look for the push. Only 2 crystal turrets remain between them and securing their first game here at Worlds.
DefQ does have that Storm Crown, so it might be a little bit easier, but I think last time we saw the Kraken push was that it was very easy for Snow Avalanche to focus on DefQ, and then Spaghetti and Waterfall, I just had to take a back line. They had to be a bit more careful with their positioning, so this is a very, very tenuous position that we are in right now.
I wonder perhaps if DefQ had built a little bit of armor as well, it might help out Infamous Legion a bit more. The Impale onto Quarter Voice, he will skedaddle away. Snow Avalanche want this fight. Big blast tremor though. Ace's High does not connect and DefQ gets stunned up as well. Oblivion, 3-man Impale, 2-man Sleep. Infamous Legion getting sniped away. Voldemort uses the one-shot, one-kill, doesn't connect. The Kraken's still pushing in though, and Snow Avalanche may have this game in the bag. Kraken at half HP. If they get Ace, perhaps they lose.
Oh, they get one!
What was that damage? Bastion's gonna get chased away as well. The Kraken should take the crystal turret, but can Infamous Legion defend this? I think they take the Kraken down well before it takes their crystal. And Infamous Legion hold on to hope.
Just hanging on by a thread here. They're down to that crystal, and Snow Avalanche, they haven't lost a single turret, and I don't think even any damage has even come off from that first turret. So they need to get that vision down. We don't want any of those backdoors coming through it. I mean, you've got a kind of potential if they do run straight for it, but it looks like Infamous Legion just try and just go into their jungle.
Take away these scout traps, move your vision line up, and this is Infamous Legion saying, look, we know we can't just win if we allow you to control the map again. So they push up, they say, we're going to try and take control, we're going to try and set up a bush where we can catch you out.
I understand that, but there's absolutely no vision on that lane for Infamous Legion. Like, there's no chance, apart from the minions, that's the only way that Infamous Legion would know if Snow Avalanche is pushing up.
Kestrel does have active camera as well, so could just run behind it. Kentisik caught out Spaghetti,
oh my
and Quarter
gosh!
Boys are going for this. Infamous
damage!
Legion pull the trigger, they take down Samuel. Voldemort's the next target, Spaghetti's doing work here, but the turret will defend him. But now look at that shot! Quarter Vice is absolutely melting through Voldemort. Bastion, Impale onto Quarter Vice. He's not tanking the turret anymore though. DefQ steps in front of his carry to keep him alive. There's the Fountain. Voldemort's looking for the flank. Counter Fountain used. Bastion's going to get chased away here. Voldemort, it's all up to him with this flank. He gets spotted out by the flare. Infamous Legion are holding on to this game, and they take Snow Avalanche by the scruff of the neck.
They've had completely new life. That turret is going down so fast right now, and that gold lead is beginning to drop. Now it's only 1k between the two teams.
1k!
That was such a great tactic coming up from Infamous Legion, just going so far ahead that they were able to catch them out. That dive, going to Kentisik under the turret, they had enough damage to do so, and they knew that.
This is the point as well where not building defense helps you out, because they've got so much more damage. At this point, you've got the clockworks, you've got almost, it's a double piercing shot on Quarter Voice alongside a Broken Myth, melting through that shield. Infamous Legion, actually, when they played Samuel, we used to see them build double, triple Broken Myths just for that extra damage. They're going to go for the Kraken here.
They're going for the back door.
They're going for the back door as well.
Oh my god.
No, they're not.
No,
Okay,
that's good. That's all good.
You got too excited, Shinyi. You got
So
too
did you.
excited.
I saw you spit.
Oh
my gosh!
Oh, no, he doesn't.
They didn't
I thought
steal
he
it.
had it. I thought he had it. I saw the elixir, the infusion pop up, and I was like, oh, he's got it, and then he didn't. The crowd cheered as well. They're taunting me. They're baiting me into things. What is this game?
What a steal that would have been, though. Third Kraken. Third Kraken.
And Infamous Legion aren't even going to push with it. They're just going to give...
It's wasted opportunity right now.
But the gold doesn't matter. Like, everyone's 6 items. DefQ's going to push in now.
They need to poke.
They are looking for the poke. Snow Avalanche looking for it in response. Spaghetti gets Bastion low. Bastion has double shield as well, just not able to tank up this at all. Kraken down to half HP. DefQ the front line. Look at the damage from the buckshot. But Voldemort just gets melted away. Infamous Legion. This would be the biggest turnaround I have seen in a long, long time. Down to just their Bane Crystal. And they might be able to close out the game. There is the Oblivion, doesn't connect. The Kraken's still pushing in. Voldemort on Spaghetti. DefQ forward. There's the Blast Tremor as well. The Fountain comes out. Ace's High does not connect. The Kraken's still there though. There's
Spaghetti!
The Spaghetti. Watch out, watch out. Not going to connect. This Depth blocks it away. Kentisik low up towards the side now. Spaghetti going for the chase. Snow Avalanche only have 1 crystal turret remaining. They're going to try and back away. Voldemort and Bastion are looking for this, though. They're looking for the chase. Quarter Voice with a buckshot across the wall.
They need to back away. Oh, God.
What is this? There's 1 crystal turret remaining in this game. There's 1 turret remaining in this game. We are 23 minutes in, and this game, if this is the pace that Worlds is going to be played at, I don't think my voice is going to last the weekend.
What are they doing? Infamous Legion, they are playing so much better when they are the aggressors. For the first, I would say, 18 minutes of the game, their performance was very lackluster, very weak. But the moment they switched the switch on, it was just a completely different story from them. Just the aggression, they took down 4 turrets in one single push.
That they did. I'm a little bit interested by itemization choices. Quadravice has got double piercing shard. I think he's got enough money to upgrade it into a broken myth as well, and has decided not to. I might be wrong with my calculations. Bastion trying to step up a bush here. He hasn't been spotted by that flare. They know Kentisik and Voldemar are there, but they don't know Bastion is.
You can probably guess that he's there though, but
yeah, they can now with that flare coming.
This next fight is make it or break it for both of these teams. And looks like Snow Avalanche, they're going to be the ones aggressing, and I think that's a really good opportunity for them because whenever both of the teams are very similar.
Yeah, so he just didn't have enough gold. He's got the second broken myth now.
Or maybe going for a third.
Yeah, it looks like it, doesn't it? A Snow Avalanche, you have to feel perhaps have a slight advantage at this point because they are used to the longer games. Europe is known for its 25, 30-minute games. Infamous Legion, SEA is known more for 15 to 20 minute games.
Actually, interesting point. Infamous Legion, if you looked at their very, very early footage from about a year ago, they were like all their games were under 15 minutes.
Yeah.
But recently, we're seeing them shift towards late game, and this could be something that we've not seen very much from the Southeast Asia teams.
Spaghetti takes some poke across the wall. Death steps forward, Impale onto him. Infamous Legion are trying to work out where the crack is in Snow Avalanche, but will the crack lead to the Avalanche raining down upon them? Death caught out, Impale misses. One shot, one kill onto Spaghetti. The backline is weak now as Infamous Legion try and find the retreat. Merciless Pursuit will get Death out of the Oblivion.
But Snow Avalanche.
They turn towards that 4th Kraken of the game. Quadravoice knows it's on the cards, and he has that aces high. He's got his trap card to try and catch out Snow Avalanche. Kraken down low. Deathq and Quadravoice step forward. They've stopped the Kraken. That's important. As Deathq does try and get onto Voldemar, he used his Aegis there. So we'll be low. Aces high on Voldemar. Quadravoice trying to get the damage down across the wall. Fountain used. Deathq caught as well with the Githian. Voldemar's going to have to try and get back to his teammate. He's dead!
He gets it!
Voldemar gets melted by the buckshot. Bastion 2 forced away. Kentisik looks like he'll be the only man surviving the last bastion of hope once again for Snow Avalanche. But in
4th Kraken?
Infamous Legion with the 4th Kraken of this game.
I don't know what Kentisik can do. I think there's very, very little, because if he tries to steal this Kraken, that's the ace, and if he doesn't, there's not much he can do against this Kraken in this last push. And I think this is going to be the last push off the game.
I can sense the Europeans in the crowd trying to imbue Kentisik with their energy. It's like, please Kentisik, please Kentisik.
Do a 1v3.
Infamous Legion will not give any mercy as they once again push in with the Kraken for the 2nd time in the game.
There's 15 seconds left for Voldemar, but they're just going to focus on Kentisik, which is a very good idea. And if Kentisik can just keep them at bay long enough.
Here comes Spaghetti. Deathq looking for the stun. Do you see the reflex block come out? Aegis used. He needs to clear this wave, but I just don't think he can do it.
Kentisik!
Look at the damage! It's the ace! Infamous Legion! Turning around, they get the ace buff off it. Bastion and Voldemar are back alive. The crystal low, and the crystal will not survive as Infamous Legion take the win and take it 2-0.
I can't. That game was